by DraftKings. I'm Ros Logan. That's my girl, Logan Hackett. Logan, how are you?
I'm good. Coming off of a crazy opening weekend, and it's so crazy to think that we have so many left. But how are you? You are looking great in that studio.
Yes, I'm officially coming to you from our New York studios. I've made that move to Brooklyn for the summer. I'm going to be covering the New York Liberty. So this is going to be my new home, I guess. Hello.
It's seafoam season.
It's yes, I guess so. I guess so. But I do love our New York studio. I mean, we be in LA sometimes, we be in Miami sometimes, but that's because no matter where we are, we have to deliver the show to you guys watching wherever you're watching it from. So we have a great menu of topics for today's show because, as Logan said, it is WNBA opening week. Games have gone down and we're breaking it down. So here's what we got for you. We got some X's and O's. We have player breakdowns of Caitlin Clark, Napheesa Collier, and Paige Bueckers. Let's watch the film and the tape. We're reviewing those opening week games, highlighting the New York Liberty, the Aces, the Fever, the Lynx, and more. And surprise, the Mystics are cooking. We've got a preview and a look ahead to New York Liberty versus the Indiana Fever. There's a lot of new players and new teams, so the best debuts around the league we'll be taking a look at. And of course, the take foul heard round the world between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark and all the hot takes that have come with it. And we have a special visitor joining us from our Meadowlark family. Juju Gotti joins the show.
And as always, y'all, thank you so much for subscribing, commenting, liking, pressing all the buttons, following our socials. And don't forget, new episodes drop every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So be there or be square. I have not said that since I was in grade 8, but let's get into the show.
There or be square. Absolutely. You snooze, you lose.
Anyways, we're taping this ahead of the Fever's Tuesday night game against the Dream. However, we have got to talk about their crazy 93-58 win over the Sky, which was just announced as the most watched WNBA game ever on ESPN, with 2.7 million viewers and peaking at 3.1 million.
Wow.
Crazy, considering it was literally the first day of the season. But Caitlin Clark did steal the show with her third career triple-double. And of all the things that stood out, Ros, what impressed you the most?
She clearly did a lot well. But for me, it's Caitlin's passing. It's the dimes that she's dropping, specifically out of the pick and roll. So we've got some film. Let's take a look at the damage that Caitlin can do out of that pick and roll. Now, you'll watch Caitlin Clark. She's going to come off the screen, and look how deep she is. She's going to pull. The fact that she will take and will make this three, that is what sets everything else up. Look, the defense is looking and standing up straight at Caitlin, and they burn her back door. That's Lexi Hull, who's going hard, going a million miles per hour. A screen here, pick and roll, and the defense is standing up, still looking. Instead of jumping to the ball and helping on Howard, Caitlin creates that. Again, two defenders stuck on Caitlin. And Aaliyah Boston, her versatility and ability to pick and pop sets that up. Defenders are caught looking at Caitlin. It's a great read from Aaliyah Boston, who's going to knock down that jumper. I think one of the things out of the pick and roll is Caitlin creates so much confusion, so much chaos, because everybody's, rightfully so, kind of worried about getting out on her. And so on one hand, she sets that up, but on the other hand, she's got teammates that are very smart and are making the right reads and burning the defense.
And actually, speaking of those teammates, I was so shocked to see how balanced the stat sheet was in this game. 4 of their 5 starters had 15 or more points. But I also want to shout out Aaliyah Boston with that 19-13 double-double. And then Lexi Hull coming off the bench with 9 and 9. She looked great. And actually, as you were going through the highlights, my first thought was Caitlin creates so much chaos. Maybe when you watch the game, you see it, but when you watch it back, you really see just how chaotic it is. But did you expect to see this much of a dominant performance from the Fever straight out the gate?
Logan, I think you expected the Fever to be good. We all said that, right? Like, I feel like everybody said that. But where I really was impressed was on the defensive end with the Fever. If the Fever are going to be serious about defense this season, now that's where they are in truly scary territory. And what I saw was impressive. They held Chicago below 30% from the field, 22% from three. They defended without fouling. They only sent them to the free throw line 12 times. In fact, while also blocking the ball, which is tough. Sometimes you're in fouls when you're going for the block. They had 10 blocks, notably Aaliyah Boston with 5 and Caitlin Clark with 4. So I think the defense is my first seriousness indicator for just how lethal the Fever have the potential to be. And then just their depth. They have so many options. I'm just going to rattle a couple of names off because it's literally that many. But Natasha Howard, she looked buoyant, energy around the rim, very mobile and quick there. Kelsey Mitchell, she is someone that doesn't need Caitlin Clark to set up her shot. Like, she can do it off the bounce. She can create her own shot, and the pace that she plays with, she is so fast. Aaliyah Boston, remember we had Coach Stephanie White on our show and we did an interview, and she said, hey, I think we can be playing with Aaliyah, with AB like they do with Jokic because she's so cerebral. She absolutely looked like a high IQ player out there. It was shining her brilliance around the game. And so what they're doing is oftentimes she's setting up or getting the ball or screening high out, and there's nothing but space for her to then read or make a decision on the right play with. And so she was able to do that over and over to exploit for, faking the dribble handoff, going the other way, screening and picking and rolling, pulling up if the defense is standing there and waiting. She made great reads all game. And then here's the X factor for the Fever. It's our girl, Stanford's own, we love a Stanford grad. It's Lexi Hull. Because Lexi Hull goes so hard. She has high impact minutes on both ends of the court. Her motor is out of this world. On offense, she's playing at such a high game speed. She is running her lane in transition. She's cutting back door. She's just willing to keep going like an Energizer bunny. And on defense, she is just a maniac, a gnat. She's so annoying on the ball. Her on-ball defense, and she's strong and she's long and she's just making things happen, whether she's coming off the bench or not. So I just feel like, she's just such a high impact X factor, and, shout out to our Stanford fam too. But you see all of the weapons that the Fever have. And to me, what it signals too is I think this season we're going to see multiple 15 plus assist games from Caitlin Clark. I think we'll see a couple 20 plus assist games from Caitlin Clark. This is game one. Imagine as they really gel over the course of the season. I don't even think that's crazy to say that Caitlin Clark might just really eat up the assist record books.
Not crazy to say, but crazy to think about. But another thought that I had, I think for one of the first times ever, was, is this Fever defense so good, or is Chicago's offense just so bad? And I think it could have been a mixture of both, but we did see such an improvement from the Fever's defense, and that all comes with Stephanie White. But on the other side, Angel dropped a double-double and hit a milestone by becoming the fastest player to hit 450 points and 450 rebounds. So what have you seen from her performance so far?
I was impressed that Caitlin Clark had a triple-double, and I was impressed that Angel Reese came out and immediately picked up where she left off and had a double-double. This is a machine. That's not easy business. And she comes out there and just works. I thought, especially early in the game on offense, Angel Reese was able to face up and attack the rim and finish, attack her defender. We'll be keeping an eye on her offensive efficiency throughout the season. I mean, that's the point, of growth that we want to see from her. But at one point, the defense is sagging off of her, and Angel Reese steps into that three with confidence and knocks it down the three-point shot. And I was like, okay, Angel. Like, that's an area of growth. That's an expansion of her game. And also, I love that, Tyler Marsh has empowered her to look for that and take that.
Absolutely. And I feel like we have to talk about one of the biggest parts of the game, at least, is everything going on with Caitlin Clark and Angel and the so-called rivalry. But what do you make of all of this and the hate and the media and the fans and everything just fueling it?
Yeah. Look, I think as far as the foul itself, I think the refs got it right by upgrading it to a flagrant foul. In fact, in watching the broadcast, I also thought that Rebecca Lobo immediately identified that and did a good job of talking through it. Caitlin reminds me of Diana Taurasi, like in the sense that she's in the mix. She be in the mix. She's always in the mix. And often I feel like what the refs end up catching is the reaction to Caitlin. And so that's what happened with Angel. And actually, I also think Angel didn't overreact. I thought that was a normal reaction to a basketball play. And, people try to call out her reaction. I didn't think it was an overreaction. And I think the foul itself in an isolated vacuum is a common basketball play that we see often as a take foul, if we're looking at it as an isolated basketball incident. However, the reason why we're talking about it on today's show is because it's not in a vacuum. It is in the stratosphere of the entire ecosystem of basketball. And now women's basketball has permeated the culture of society. And it's bigger than that. So now when you take into consideration the individual histories of Caitlin Clark over this one and just beginning of a second season in the league, and Angel Reese, and then you also take the body of work of years of their history together. Now that in that history, like, it puts pressure on the incident and certainly the narrative and the way that we're talking about it. So here's my main takeaways. It happened in the very first game of the season for these two teams. I was like literally crazy, but it also could be an opportunity. The WNBA just launched their No Space for Hate campaign. And this is right at the start of the season. You got a chance to show what this whole campaign is about. Is it just talk, or, it's an opportunity for the WNBA, the league, and the Players Association to show what swift action after an investigation looks like, and to set a tone and a precedent for what poor fan behavior, what the consequences of that are. So I'll be looking to the league, and the WNBA Players Association to set the tone here. It's not necessarily on the players. And then the other take that I have on this, Logan, I'm curious your opinion, too. As soon as I saw the play, I literally was like, oh, man, here we go. It's about to be nutty. We're going to get the think pieces. And I know I wasn't the only one that thought that. And somehow, Logan, we now have a number of unrelated national media members who don't normally discuss women's basketball, but have somehow managed from this one foul to center themselves in the discussion and conversation. Like, how have you managed to take this one foul play and center yourselves, your family, just a whole bunch of nonsense for clicks and engagement? I didn't hear those same national pundits that have now made a scene of this discuss Caitlin Clark's triple-double or Angel Reese's double-double. It's actually annoying, and it's so tired.
That was my first thought, is I'm just so tired of this already. But when I saw the play, I was actually, ironically, out for dinner with 4 of my guy friends, and I literally put my phone away. I was like, all right, one of you has to take my phone because I don't want to look at it for the rest of the night. But I'm also just going to sit there and prepare for war, because I don't know what is about to be said at this table. And thankfully, because I'm with some normal and sane human beings, all of their takes were valid. I mean, from the foul to everything else, honestly, the biggest talking point was that we wish that Caitlin wouldn't have backed away from it. But even with Angel going down, as you said, that is completely normal and valid. If you have watched a WNBA game before, you will see that unless a player is hurt on the ground, they are going at the person who sent them to the ground. But yeah, with everyone coming in and just making it about themselves, there's a whole thing with all the football players. I absolutely hate it. And it is.
I was trying not to completely just, point them out, but yeah, go ahead.
It has overshadowed everything. But to think that we also have 4 more games, I mean, the W definitely needs to act in this case. And I hope there's a lot of protection for Angel and Caitlin, as a matter of fact. And also the fact that the WNBA All-Star is going to be in Indiana is a bit scary. But again, we'll see what comes out of all of this.
Absolutely. I think those are really good points. And again, it comes back to onus. In a way, it's almost an opportunity that it happened so early in the season to all right, let's nip this in the bud, or at least let's start ourselves on a path of showcasing what happens when there's poor fan behavior. And so they're launching this investigation.
Exactly. But I actually want to stick with the Fever. They have a very early test against the defending champions on Saturday. And right now, DraftKings has the Liberty favored going back to back, but the Fever are right there behind them. Now, I said a few shows back that I wanted to see them play top teams, and I'm so excited to see this game. Both of them had strong opening weekends with teams that kind of faltered a bit. I mean, the Aces did not play well other than Asia Wilson. But do you think we could see an early season upset, or is Liberty's roster just too deep?
Oh, the Liberty are so deep. Actually, I think for both teams, the Liberty and the Fever in this upcoming matchup, it's a good test for both of them. It's a good litmus test. Both teams are deep. But the Liberty in particular, their first game of the season against the Aces, they were 4 for 21 from 3. And Sabrina had a quiet game, and yet they still won big. And it's the depth that shined. First person I'll call out, Natasha Cloud. She came through. What was her stat line? 22 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds, 3 steals. She brings energy on both ends. And when she first came to the Liberty, one of the first things she told me was, I'm bringing that dog to New York. And we hear that word thrown around a lot. Like, someone's a dog. Like, how does that actually show itself on the court? And Natasha Cloud showed that. It was when the Aces were closing the gap on the lead and they were putting the pressure on the Liberty. And the Liberty had been there before against the Aces. The Aces know that they have the ability to come back. But it was Natasha Cloud who rattled off consecutive plays, tough plays at the rim, getting to the free throw line. It was a response in the face of adversity. And that's what it means to be a dog. Also, she got great energy, offense created off of defense. She's in passing lanes, steals that created runouts. Those are tough, gritty plays. And so I was impressed with the timeliness of her play. And then lastly, when I talk about depth for the Liberty, it's also their depth inside. And I actually think all good things for the Liberty start in the paint, interestingly enough, like inside. I think it starts with Breanna Stewart and Jonquel Jones and the way that they can establish inside. They're versatile players, but they also get the work done inside, and they can be really aggressive attacking the glass. So you've got those two players anchoring it, and then you have Niara Sabally, talk about depth, waiting in the trenches for her name to be called because she is highly talented and has great potential too.
Real quick, what are your keys to the game for both the Liberty and Fever?
Okay, so I made a little key sheet for the Fever, keys versus the Liberty. Fever, keys versus the Liberty. I think you got to put pressure on the ball. You have to make the Liberty feel you. The Liberty, one, have great size, and they swing and pass that ball very freely and unselfishly. You got to take away the vision and not make it so easy to pass. You do want another key. You want to defend without fouling. The Liberty put pressure on the defense, either with players that are willing to put the ball on the floor and attack the rim and attack the defense, or they'll pound it inside. And you've got to defend those big girls. I think they have, like I said, they have an advantage with their bigs. You've got to defend them without fouling. I think for the Fever, they can use pace to their advantage. One of the reasons the Liberty won a championship, they're more than offense. They're a good defensive team. And instead of having to deal with their defense in the half-court set, go to one of your strengths, which is play with pace, beat that defense down the court, and do what you do. And then, of course, again, coming back to the Liberty rebound well out of a lot of positions. So you have to box them out. Box out. All right, I got on the other side, Liberty keys for the Fever. Here's what the Liberty need to do. Transition defense. This is an Indiana Fever team that could play well with pace. And one of the best ways to play good transition defense is to not turn it over. You got to take care of the ball. Avoid those open court turnovers or opportunities where the Indiana Fever's crowd, remember, this is going to be an Indy. Don't let them become an X factor, the crowd. Okay, it's already crazy in there. And then obviously one of the biggest issues that the Fever poses, defending Caitlin Clark out of the pick and roll. So communication and rotation out of the pick and roll is going to be very key for the Liberty. And the good news for the Liberty is they are a veteran team that understands how to do that. But you try your best to avoid confusion against the Caitlin Clark pick and roll. And then lastly, as someone who covers the Liberty, I always say good things happen when Jonquel Jones is engaged early and setting the tone in the paint. Get her those paint touches inside early. It sets up the gravity for everything else the Liberty want to do. Drives off the kick out, threes off the kick out, spacing, all the things, but establish Jonquel early. Those are my keys to the Liberty Fever game.
So we have the Liberty, we have the Fever, but another team that was looking really good were the Lynx, who got 2 wins out the gate, and they are picking up right where they left off. In the first game, Fee put up 34, and Courtney Williams was Courtney Williams with a very flashy 25 points. But in the second, Fee also put up 23. So what were your takeaways from the opening here?
Yeah, I actually have to raise my hand because in the season preview that we did, I kind of was like, wow, all these other teams added so many players and talent, and the Lynx kind of just doubled down and stayed with the same roster. Is that going to be enough? Is continuity enough? Well, it's looking like continuity. Yeah, right. The continuity was continuity. Like they looked really good in their first 2 games. So first of all, in 2 games, we got to start with Courtney Williams, who just was the maestro out there. 19 assists, 0 turnovers. And guess what? I also asked, how much more can Cheryl Reeves squeeze out of this roster? It looks like she's squeezing the fruit and getting more juice. So Jessica Shepard didn't play last season. She's looked especially mobile, efficient, confident, and tough around the rim. We might even see a breakout season. Could Diamond Miller have a breakout? Last season, injuries, she fell out of rotation. She has an opportunity here. And mind you, Kayla McBride hasn't even suited up yet. Alana Smith just rejoined the team. And of course, I haven't talked about their MVP candidate in Napheesa Collier. Here's the thing about Napheesa Collier. I say it often, but when you're defending her, the defense must stay locked in. What she does better than anyone else possibly in the world is her movement without the ball. And as soon as she sets a screen or as soon as she gives it up, that's when the party starts. And defense, you've got to stay locked in. I've got some examples for you. Let's take a look at these clips here. Now, Fee's going to eat against Maddie Siegrist a lot. But Courtney Williams has the ball. Fee catches the defense standing up. You can't stand up. Stay locked in. You got to see the ball and Fee. She back cuts and hits a jumper. All right, Courtney Williams again. The two of them work very well together. Fee passes the ball. You must be locked in. The defense switches and she catches them on her backside. So that's an easy roll slip into the basket. She makes you pay for whatever decision. Fee loves to set screens, I think because she likes to score. Sets that screen. Look at all the space. That wasn't for Courtney Williams. That was for Fee. And then a little two clap, Maddie Siegrist bites, and Fee is to the cup. Now you see me, now you don't. That's the oldest trick in the book. She said, Maddie, and Maddie came out, and Fee goes back door. If you watch those plays, guys, that was 4 baskets and 1 dribble from Napheesa Collier. 4 baskets and 1 dribble. That is a clinic, friends. Coaches, show that to your team. Show that to your young players, because that's beautiful basketball.
Absolutely insane. And again, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. I cannot wait to watch the rest of the season, especially with her in the whole MVP race. But y'all, coming up, Meadowlark Media's Juju Gotti joins Ros and I to break down some of the top debut in the league this season. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Good Follow, presented by DraftKings. I'm Ros, she's Logan. And Logan, this past weekend in WNBA opening action, it was full of debuts. New players in new situations, new teams, and we'll be evaluating their impact with someone who is making their debut on our show. And it is our friend, our family from the Meadowlark fam. It is Juju Gotti. You may know him from the Dan Levitard show, from Alley Oop, his own show. What's up, Juju?
What's up, my sisters? I'm so honored and so happy to be invited here and share a platform with you legends.
Yes, we know you love the W, and we know you love Unrivaled. I sat next to you at Unrivaled in Miami, and you were losing your mind, and I see that you're rocking your Atlanta Dream Team. I see you already.
You got to know, man. We got BG. Look, the world, we are unstoppable right now. You can't tell me nothing. I can run through a wall. Hopefully it's a plastic wall, not a brick one. But I'll run straight through that wall for BG.
I love the spirit. Are you ready to get into it?
Let's get into it.
I'm ready.
Let's talk about these debuts.
Do it. Yes,
For
so
sure.
Starting in the East, we had our eyes on Kiki Iriafen and Sonia Citron, who right now they're second and third in points for the Mystics through 2 games. Kiki put up 14 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists in her first game against the Dream, and then had a crazy 17-14 double-double in the second against the Sun. And then Sonia had 19 points in her debut and followed that up with a 15-point game. I'm very impressed. I think everyone is very impressed of how they fit into this team. But someone who we're also all impressed with is Natasha Cloud, who had an amazing franchise debut with the Liberty, putting up 22 points, 9 assists, and 6 rebounds. To be honest, I would put these all on the same level of great pickups for both of these teams. But what did y'all think of their performances this weekend?
Yeah,
Juju, I see you. I see you shaking your head yes when you seen it. I see you shaking your head yes.
Right. One of the most important thing about Sonia's 15 against the Sun. They came at clutch moments in that game. They wasn't in the beginning of the game, first quarter. I think she went into the fourth quarter not with all those points. I think in the clutch, I'm talking about and ones at the end of the game. The game was still in the balance. Sonia stepped up for her squad, so I think she has been already worth that draft pick. Of course, Kiki gonna do her thing, but dawg, let me tell you, this Saturday in this living room when I watched my sister Tasha Cloud, bruh, the New York Liberty got a steal with her. If she gonna be bringing the points, assists, and the rebounds, I don't know, dare I say, they are the title front runners right now, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, it was a huge pickup to get Natasha Cloud. And I'm just going to continue to focus in on, look at the Mystics. People pick them to finish 12 or 13, end of the league in the rankings and all these types of things. And they look great, and so do their rookies. You know, both Kiki and Sonia look confident, and they're making fundamental basketball plays. Kiki, I'm impressed. You know, used to go to Stanford. I've known her well. That's my girl. That's my sis. Like, she looks very confident, mobile, around the rim, and efficient. And on the other side for Sonia, what stands out to me is these are all, to your point, Juju, she made big plays, and these aren't plays where she's dribbling the air out of the ball or they're running sets for her necessarily. These are just heads up, good, high IQ basketball plays. And she works hard. She's gonna run her lane and get her run out. She's gonna read the screen and flare out for a three, or she'll spot up along the 3-point line and a teammate will find her, or she'll cut and move without the ball. Like, she's just out there making nice basketball plays. Nothing is too complicated. And for a rookie, over 2 games, she's averaging 17 points per game on 64% shooting. The efficiency as a rookie is what stands out to me, but I won't let this be all about the rookies. I know we're talking about debuts, but I do have to shout out the Mystics being a surprise of the early part of the season also has to do with Brittany Sykes. Slim,
hey, man.
We know her for defense, but she's averaging 25 points per game and 6 assists over 2 games. So the veteran for the Mystics is setting the tone.
Right. I think also, too, last year people forgot, if B. Sykes don't go down with that injury, that team would have looked a lot different. They was very scary. As an Atlanta Dream fan, I know she came back off that ankle just to stick it in our behind for 1 game before she got back hurt. So, yeah, B. Sykes, I think if she keep on this path, she could be in the running for MVP conversations if that team does well enough.
Wow, you know, I love hearing your perspective because that's a fresh opinion. Just, you know, someone that I don't think people would have picked that, but I know Slim would like to hear that.
If you told someone this time last year, even at the end of the season last year, that Brittany Sykes, Kiki, and Sonia would be driving this team, who are currently sitting in first, they would not have believed you whatsoever. That sounds like a crazy sentence, but y'all, moving on to the West, we had Paige Bueckers, Kelsey Plum, Satu Sabli, and Alyssa Thomas, who all made their debuts with their new teams. And Kelsey actually broke the record for most points in the season opener, putting up 37 points against the Valkyries.
Crazy.
But with that, last week on the show when we were going through our rundown, I said that Phoenix was going to be a sleeper team, and that was shown with Satu breaking a Mercury debut record with 27 points and AT coming in hot with 26 and 7. So y'all, what did you think of their performances?
I'll start on this one. I'm going to call out the number 1 draft pick, making her debut to the W, not just for Dallas. Paige Bueckers. She had a good first game, and I think in the second game that she played, she was even better. And in that game against Seattle, she had 19 points, 8 assists, 3 turnovers, that comes with it, 5 rebounds, 3 steals, 1 block, and she shot 50%. She did a lot of things well on both sides of the ball, but for me, passing is impressive because it's a tough adjustment for guards, especially going from college to the pros. And I actually heard this from Sue Bird, from a number of greats, that like it's just your idea of, is the pass there or not? It's just harder to adjust. The gaps are smaller, the defenders are faster, and the hole closes up faster than you expected. I actually have a few highlights from the game with Paige. Let's take a look at her passing. So Paige, she's got 2 defenders up on the ball, and she's able to see over it. She's got good size and vision, a nice touch on that bounce pass. Now, right there, she's willing to push the pace, but it's a little risky of a pass. It sneaks through, but it's a long distance. This one, she tries to sneak through with the bounce pass across the court, and it gets picked off. Decision making is tough, but now she got a better angle on this one, shortened the distance, and she was able to zip that pass through for the pace and the tempo that she wants in the fast court, open court break. So for me, what I'm showing in that highlight package is just, look, there's something she's doing great with passing, and you can see that there's still a little bit more adjustment, as you expect for a rookie in her second game. But boy, it's a good start for Paige Bueckers.
Right. And the thing that people also got to remember, she getting the Caitlin Clark treatment right now. Well, welcome to the league, Rook, for every team. Like, bruh, Seattle was on her behind, sending double teams, triple teams. Like, she's still getting the job done. She hit a contested jumper over Neca last night and won. They didn't call it, but it was like an and one. Like, she's performing well under, like, the dire circumstances that most of these rookies don't have to face. So her with that Dallas team and Enrique, she hasn't necessarily got out the blocks just yet this season. She had a couple of rough games to start this year. So I feel like once everybody gets in tune with each other, Enrique understands when that jumper starts to get more wet, and you got Alyssa Smith on the block. They showing me a lot. That team is very, very tough.
I think that we'll see more. I'm not worried about who the Dallas Wings are in May. I'm more concerned on like how much do they improve by the All-Star break. And I thought you brought up good points, Juju. I'll call out Tierra McCowan, who had a rough first game, 4 fouls in 5 minutes, and walked off the court early in the first game. Second game, she was high impact and looked way better, on the glass and as a scoring threat in the paint. So that was great.
Right, and they got a rookie head coach right now too, who's trying to fine tune this lineup. Like last night, I was like, bro, let's put some people back in the games. It got close at the end, and the lineups didn't necessarily change. So yeah, like you said, I'm more interested in how they end the season versus how they started.
Yeah. And with all that, it is just the beginning of the season, but a debut that wasn't as star-studded as we expected, or I guess wasn't as star-studded as we thought it would be, was Jewell Loyd with the Aces. How did y'all see her fit into this team, and what did you think about her performance there?
Yeah, Jewell had a rough one. I mean, you going against the champs on ring night. I mean, as your debut, that's a rough day, especially like we said, Tasha Cloud was clicking on all cylinders. That was the Stewie we saw. That was the New York Liberty we saw. And I think at the beginning of the game, I think it was Asia and Chelsea Gray scored like the first 20-something points almost. So I think the entire Vegas roster was kind of, getting their bearings, and it wasn't a great look for the Gold Mamba. But I know that she will get it together because what are we talking about? It's the Gold Mamba.
Yeah. I am not worried after one game just yet for the Aces or for Jewell Loyd. I certainly expect that this is part of like growing pains and meshing pains. She'll get her rhythm with that team as she gets more reps with them in actual game time experience. I'll tell you who did look like she didn't miss a beat and did look like she was in rhythm and form from the MVP season before. It was A'ja Wilson. My goodness. Yeah. I don't know anyone who's playing with more motor, force, speed, agility, skill, size, strength, and power at once than A'ja Wilson. And she had 31 points on 11 for 22 shooting. She got to the free throw line, made all of them, 8 for 8. So A'ja, check. She looks like she's in MVP form. But I actually did the math on what the rest of the team did. The rest of the team shot 28%. They shot 17 of 60, did the rest of the team. So I don't expect the Aces will shoot that poorly forever, but here's the thing. You can't shoot poorly and not defend. And so that was the issue that I know that Coach Becky Hammond had with them. The Aces defended in spurts, but for most of the game against the Liberty, who they are the reigning champs, this is tough. They got cut on, they got driven on, and they had a hard time defending the Liberty without fouling. They sent them to the free throw line 21 times. So one thing you got to know you can depend on is, are y'all going to be serious about defense? And this was a question last year from Becky Hammond to her team, and it's carrying over now again. So, and again with the depth as well for the Aces. It's a lot of the same questions coming up for the Aces.
But we know about Becky though. Becky ain't gonna let this stuff go on for too long. She gonna get them in shape, so she gonna get to the bottom of this.
Becky didn't even smile in the media day pictures. Y'all saw that? Becky came to the media day pictures like this.
All right.
Don't play with her.
Well, y'all, we have to run to break, but next up, Ros, Juju, and I play a game of Blind Ranker. So we'll be right back with that.
Welcome back to Good Follow. Good Follow is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. I'm Ros, she's Logan, and he is Juju joining the show. And Logan, you got a game, don't you? We're about to play a game together.
Yes, so this week we are playing a game of Blind Ranker WNBA edition. So the producers are going to show us a moment from social, and all three of us are going to have to agree where to rank it from 1 to 5, with 1 being the best moment. And without knowing what comes next, the hard part about this is we're not changing anything around.
Oh, okay, that's tough. Let's try it.
Yeah. All right, so let's see which one. Let's see which one is up first.
Okay. This is King James. LeBron James did a preseason good luck wish post to Caitlin Clark. And I just want to point out, y'all see that there's 3 pictures. This wasn't just one picture. This was a 3-slide carousel post. Bro did a 3-slide carousel post to support Caitlin Clark heading into the season.
Flipped it all the way up.
A carousel from LeBron James is actually kind of crazy.
Right. I hate to go so high on the first one, but what's better than the King James giving you the carousel and wishing good luck? I don't know.
Even Caitlin seemed surprised. Like, she was like, was it AI? And then she was like, no, I knew we took that picture. I knew it was me. But she was like, did LeBron really post it? And she did. But yeah, that's got to be in the 4 range. What you think, Logan?
4?
3, 4?
I was thinking 3, like 3, 4. I don't want to put it super high.
I want to give us room. Let's put it at 4.
That's why I need y'all, because see, I was about to overreact. I was like, let's put it -1 because that's all.
Wait. Time out. Which one is the best side?
1 is best, 5 is whatever we think isn't as best.
Wait. Is 1 the best or is 5 the best?
1 is the best.
Oh, 1 is the best. Y'all see, I was playing the game wrong. So okay, games maker and rule explainer. Y'all, you make that clear to me.
You feel me?
I think it's a 2-3. What you think?
Yeah,
I like 3.
She like 3? Oh no, I'm the decider.
Juju thinks it's 1. Juju thinks it's 1, so let's go 2.
Right. I think it's a 2-piece for sure.
Let's put it at 2. All right.
So we're putting that at 2. Let's see what's up next.
The Sparks debut a new courtside lounge at the homeowner. That's cool. That's not beating LeBron. Posting
right, I ain't supposed to be watching the game too. Like, that's cool for the people ain't locked in.
And for all of our audio viewers who can't see, this is a video of the LA Sparks courtside seating. It's like couches, tables. There's fake boxwoods there. It looks beautiful.
Okay, yeah. The Sparks debut.
How much of the game can
lounge.
you see? How much of the game can you see from that lounge though? I feel like, I want people locked in. Don't come up here sitting on the VIP couch with your feet up. There goes Kelsey Plum shooting 2 points over someone's face.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is exciting, and hopefully it's a price package that puts more money in the pockets of, the LA Sparks, and that's the whole point. The moolah. But I'll give that a 4. What you think? But I'm putting that at 4.
I agree.
Leaving some room in
where
case
the money reside. Yeah, where the money reside is true. So that can go for 4.
That was an easy agree. All righty. Let's hop to the next one.
Y'all. Okay, this one is Ellie the Elephant became Ellie Minaj for her debut performance of the season. And y'all see she got her own custom championship ring. Y'all see they gave Ellie a ring during the celebration only in Brooklyn. So where is that in newsworthiness? It's top 3 for me.
Of course it's top 3 for you. You don't have to sit here as an Atlanta Dream fan watching Big Ellie have a national glow up. She on State Farm commercials. She got a ring now. I'm putting that at 5.
Oh, boo. That's
I'm a hater.
That's crazy. You a hater. That's
Go
crazy.
Run Howard.
Ellie's doing red carpets, baby. You crazy.
Right.
Ellie had one of the biggest breakout seasons of last year, and now she's trying to just break it out this season. I'm putting her at 3.
They swept us in the playoffs, so I'm salty. But yeah, that's 3 worthy.
We can't listen to Juju because he's bitter. All right, 3.
Yeah,
For sure.
I like it at 3. All right, what is the next social moment?
Offhand finishing.
So y'all, this is a video of Angel was asked offhand finishing, how much did you work on that? Your right hand was working a lot tonight. And she simply says, I am right-handed.
Right. That just shows you the goofiness that other people like I say, bro, I'm so happy that the world is finally tuned in and locked into women's sports in the WNBA. But if you gotta wipe your feet at the door, bro. Don't be coming in with all these comments trying to make news headlines on certain things that's happening in the W. If you can't name me 3 Valkyrie, if you can't say, if you don't know 1 Mystic, you feel me? And you don't know that my sister, what hand she is, come on, brothers. What are we doing?
What are we doing? Wait, so the plural of Valkyries is Valkyrie? Or the
that was
individual?
the first thing I heard too.
Or Valkyries is the plural and the individuals. Okay, come on now.
I got a little Ebonics. That's what we call them Valkyrie in the hood. Mama call her Valkyrie. I'm going to call her Valkyrie.
Right. Next time somebody says, what you call it? Do you know the W? Or that they like to watch women's basketball, say name 3 Valkyrie.
Exactly. Pronto. Or 3 Mystics. Or 3 Sun.
No, that's crazy. No, the Sun got a big 3. People know them. But I think people try Angel in these press conferences. She fields so many nonsense questions. Like, I honestly am just here watching her facial expressions. Like, can we play that clip back? Just look at Angel's face. Play the clip back.
Right. That's the... her face is saying, boy, bye.
Boy, bye. So right. For poor question in preparation, we putting that at 5, right, guys?
For sure.
100%. I hope that media person, whoever asked it, was, unless it was unintentional, but I hope they're thinking about that question. I hope it haunts them when they go to bed, because we need to do better than that. But y'all, what is the next one or last one?
Take us through it, Logan.
DeWanna Bonner received a standing ovation from the crowd after moving 3rd on the all-time WNBA scoring list.
Yeah,
I'm glad we saved the 1 spot.
Right.
I'm glad we saved the 1 spot because we're watching a living legend.
Hell yeah, man. Knees still work, ankles still work, shoulders still good. That's rare in this day and age. So yeah, big queen DeWanna Bonner, like, yes, definitely deserves the number 1 spot.
DeWanna Bonner moves to 3 all-time. So she passed Tina Thompson, and then she's behind Tina Charles, who's number 2 all-time. And the both of them are just way behind number 1 all-time, Diana Taurasi, and I don't think anybody's going to catch that 10,000 plus points. I think that record's safe. But to me, why this is important and why it's significant to me is, they doing this one. This is a big shout out to all the, the girls in their 30s. You know what I'm saying? Still making it happen. These are the mid-30s and up girls of the league. These are the last girls that I personally have played with and against in my basketball career. I have nothing but respect for these women. It is very hard to continue to play at this level at this age. Not only are they still on the court, but they are dominant and like stars of their teams. So nothing but respect to DeWanna Bonner, and on a really cool opening night for the Fever, where so many. Caitlin Clark gets a triple-double. They get it win. DeWanna gets to feel the crowd. Her twins are there. She moves up in the record books. It's really special. So, yeah, I'm glad we saved that number 1 spot.
Right. And she did that at the free throw line where she could just soak in all the soak-ins. She tied it. She hit the second one to break the record. Let that be a lesson out there, people. Knock down your free throws. They could be record-breaking one day.
So how do we like our 5 guys here? So it goes DeWanna Bonner, LeBron James wishes Caitlin Clark good luck on the season with a 3-slide carousel IG post, which is crazy. Juju, can you think of another woman that LeBron has ever posted outside of like his mother and wife? I can't.
Right, I can't think of it at all. Not at all. Maybe in some movies.
Yeah, right? Like everybody
the
was caught
social
off
video
guard.
The Women's Day video.
Oh, exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
There we go.
That was so funny. What did he say?
First
He was
of all,
like,
happy International Women's Day.
Classic.
He's so funny sometimes. And then, okay, so let's do it by team. So the top moments, 2 came from the Fever. You gonna move it now? 2 came from the Fever, 1 and 2. 3 came from the New York Liberty. 4 came from the LA Sparks, and then 5 came out of Chicago, but it was more of like a blooper from the media.
Well, y'all, that was so much fun, and thank you so much for joining us, Juju. Coming up, I make my DK game pick of the week, and we have some quick hits for you. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Good Follow. This segment is presented by DraftKings. This weekend, San Diego Wave play North Carolina Courage in what I expect to be a very fun game. San Diego has had a great turnaround this season, currently sitting in second place, and their ball movement and attacking is stellar, bringing a European style of play to this league. My player to look out for is Delphine Cascarino, who is so fun to watch, has an incredible soccer IQ, and is looking like one of the best players in the league this season. On the other hand, NC Courage is in a mid-season turnaround, going undefeated in their last 4 matches. Their attack is shaping up to be lethal and dynamic, scoring 8 goals in their last 4 games with 6 different goal scorers. The player to watch here is midfielder Jaden Shaw, who has been heating up and is looking to net her first goal this season against her former club. Now, with all that said, a long weekend night game at their home stadium is prime time for San Diego to get the win, so that's who I'm going with this week. Make sure to follow along and tweet us your predictions at Goodfollow Show, and this segment is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
The crown is yours, Logan. Okay, we're at the show where we know we're starting to wind down on time. What are the quick hits and headlines you have for us?
All right, well, I'm sure you've already seen this, but the Liberty got their championship ring, and their banner was raised at Barclays Center, but the ring, y'all, it is beautiful. Actually, you've seen it in person. I want to hear all about it. Is it nice?
The seafoam torch on the front, the diamonds is blinging, but it's all the fun like things that happen inside the ring when you open it up. They got those crown earrings. Inside there are 2 crown earrings that you can pop on. There's the court, there's the player jerseys. It's very thoughtful. I thought the whole ceremony was A1, including the banner raise in the arena.
Apparently, a fan, if you are a fan who wants to buy it, you can drop $11K on it. So let us know if y'all end up buying it.
You want to go half and half, Logan?
I'd be down.
Oh, I wonder if I get a ring. I wonder. Okay.
We have to talk about the fashion that we saw this week because it is amazing. One of my favorite parts about the W season coming back is all the walk-in fits. Dearica Hamby, Kelsey Plum, Rakia Jackson, 8 down.
8 down. I think that WNBA pregame walk-in is just as exciting as the Met Gala. Maybe I'm biased, but I like the girls are giving high fashion couture. Like Rakia's ready for the Met Gala. That's art. That is like geometry on her arm.
It is absolutely beautiful. But next up, we have the U.S. Women's National Team roster that dropped. Naomi Girma's back. Giselle Thompson is being experimented on forward. I was shocked to see that. And Lola Bonta got her first call up, which I am so happy to see. And lastly, we have Dr. Jonquel Jones, who had the honor of being George Washington's commencement speaker and received an honorary doctorate degree.
That is Dr. Finals MVP to you. Thank you very much.
Dang, that's a title.
Yeah, congrats, Jonquel. Oh man, it's always sad when we get to this part of the show, but that'll do it for this week's episode of Good Follow. Good Follow is presented by DraftKings. We drop every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, on DraftKings Network, or wherever else you get your podcasts. We appreciate that you've watched with us. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Share the word with your friends. You know, we need more listeners and people rocking with us. Follow us on socials, all the things. And Logan, you did that, girl. It was nice to kick it with you this week. Thank you, Boo. All right, we'll see you guys next week.